call upon stage Reverend David Gellman, who is the director and founder of United Faith Universal Oneness Canada. Please join your hands to welcome Reverend David Gellman.
In 1996, Reverend David Gellman helped establish the first true interfaith place of worship in Canada called Universal Oneness United Faith Canada. UOUFC embraces, respects, and encompasses prayers, service, and rituals from major world religions, as well as from diverse and varied spiritual traditions practiced by world culture. Much of Reverend Gellman's life has been devoted to the study of ancient world religions and their present-day equivalents. He has trained with the Cherokee and Cree Indians in shamanistic and Native American spiritual practices, and also studied ancient Kabbalistic wisdom in Safed, Israel. As a founder, director, and an ordained minister of UOUFC, he incorporates both ancient and modern tools to help individuals in the age of Aquarius find and embrace a full life with spirituality as a cornerstone.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here speaking again as a guest of the Azimia Sufi order, who continue to host the day to honor the father of mankind, Adam, or Adama, which means dust, man, and earth, and the mother of mankind, of course, Eve, which means breath, for without breath there can be no life. Who is this person we honor? Well, the Nag Hammadi Library has an excellent story about the revelation of Adam's origins told to his son Seth, and I encourage everyone to read it. I know the theme, as it was a couple of years ago when I was here, is unity through diversity. And when I was here, I talked about this concept, focusing more on the diversity and how we define these terms, and I shared their definitions and interpretations. But today I'd like to talk about them differently. The beauty of humanity is that we are ever-changing, ever-evolving beings, and as the philosophy of Azimia, founded on Islamic mysticism itself says, philosophy and spirituality take priority over religion, and education takes priority over all, and I like to think we never stop educating ourselves. I realize that there really is no diversity. We are all the same. We are all unified. We are all part of a unity. There is only one. And we are one with God, whatever you call it. It was God's out-breath that gave life to man, and God's out-breath is our in-breath, and our out-breath is God's in-breath. And we share the circle of life with God, the Creator, and we are one. Adam is like a prism diffusing the single light of God into a diverse and colorful spectrum of religion and philosophy, all with a similar underlying theme. A prism works by bending light or energy. The light began as one uniform beam, but slows down as it hits the prism and bends and begins to move at different speeds. Violet more slowly than red, and so it bends more. It's all the same light, but it takes on different attributes. These different colors are just different frequencies of energy, just as we are all different frequencies of energy. We sometimes simply get too fixed on colors or differences and forget that the underlying energy is still one in different forms. Is not ice merely a different form of water, and is not vapor the same? They are just vibrating at different speeds, but they are the same. We are all vibrating at different speeds, but we too are the same. We too often focus on difference and forget that we're the same. It's then that the living womb of the cosmos can remind us that it is love that strips away the differences and shows we radiate light and energy. Some religions are widespread throughout the world and are found in many countries, and some are restricted to single areas. The most wide-known religions being Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. And even within each of these, there's huge differentials of belief systems. Christianity can be broken down by Orthodox, Catholic, Lutheran, Anglican. Buddhism of Japan is different from the Buddhism of Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia, while the Muslim world has its share of variations, with the most common being Sunnites and Shiites. Some religions have disappeared along with the cultures which fostered them. Examples we know of are the religions of ancient Egypt, of ancient Greece, the Roman Empire, and the very sophisticated cultures of South and Central America, such as the Incas, the Aztecs, and the of Egypt or Central America, the enigma of the stoneheads of Easter Island, or the city in the clouds, Machu Picchu. Religions which have disappeared but still exercise strong fascination on our imagination, stimulating us to think about the nature of the universe and the passage and destiny of human life within it. New or traditional, and all claim to tell the capital T truth. All do and none do, for there is no one truth other than love, which is the glue that holds the universe together. Practice love and see that there is no pain, there is no suffering, and there is no difference. Love brings us together because we love ourselves, and each of us is but a cell in a giant cosmic organ. In many religions, prayers are offered to ask for benefits such as healing, protection, and general prosperity and well-being. Prayers for rain, for example, are found in many different cultures and religions. At other times and other places, prayers may be offered to avert disasters. Prayers are understood to be like a conversation with revered spiritual beings, leading into a feeling of communion with them. And when prayer is moved into this plane, the prayer has less to do with the daily physical needs of the person making them. Rather, the spiritual being which is addressed moves into the center of attention. To give some specific examples, Japanese Shinto prayers for benefits in this life are not that different from some kinds of petitionary prayers in Christianity. But on the other hand, other kinds of prayers in Christianity are more like the devotion or bhakti addressed to a particular divinity such as Krishna or Vishnu or Kali, found in some varieties of Hinduism. And from this we can see that while many people pray to different gods and goddesses about different things, there are similarities in what they're doing. But there are also different kinds of prayers within one religion within them all. Inasmuch as we are the same, there are things which cross the boundaries of life and can serve to unify us in a different way. As the Roman poet Virgil said in the Aeneid, each man's life is a thread, and the fates draw it out and cut it as they choose. There's a Latin term used, lacrimae rerum, which means tears of things. And this comes from Book 1 of the Aeneid. Aeneas is staring at a mural in Carthage, depicting the Trojan War, and he cries out, Sant lacrimae rerum, et mentem mortalia tangent. And this means there are tears of things, and mortal suffering touches the soul. He is overcome by the futility of warfare and the waste of life. The things the counselor was talking about that we see in the newspaper every day. This is 2,000 years ago. He realizes the burden that man bears is ever present, and its frailty and its suffering. In modern times, we view this quote as meaning the world is a world of tears, and the burdens of mortality touch the heart. We can fix this. We can reduce the tears. We are all mortal. Our souls may not be, but in each incarnation we are mortal, and there are common events which transcend all our differences. And it is this that I want to address now. This is loss and grief and how we can deal with it. When I was asked to participate, I was asked to also suggest something we can all unite for, to demonstrate that we are the same and that we have common issues that we can work together to help deal with. That this is not just talk, but that we can together put into action a plan of encompassing everybody here. I propose loss and grief support as something which we can all work together to help each other not just understand, but to help overcome. In the last several years, we at UOUFC have set up grief support groups in Toronto, Burlington, and Hamilton to allow people who have suffered from any kind of loss to come together and learn how to go through the process. This transcends religious differences. At our meetings, we have people of all faiths and people of no faith. We all suffer from loss, and we all suffer from grief. And as Virgil wrote over 2,000 years ago, this suffering touches the heart. Grief is a natural, healthy reaction to loss, but often manifests in a cluster of unknown emotions. All religions have prayers to deal with death, but we are concerned with all kinds of loss. There is loss from marriage breakdown, not getting job promotions, not achieving goals, not having children, losing pets, relationship failures, bankruptcies, loss of hopes, dreams, and wishes. All of these bring grief, and we can work together to promote a fellowship where people who have suffered any of these kinds of losses can come together regardless of their religious affiliation, because we are all the same. We are all one, we are all of the same genus, and we are all children of Adam and can help support one another. When loss occurs, there's a series of emotional transactions which occur, and there are basically 5 what we call seasons of grief, and no 2, like snowflakes, are alike. They are numbness, when our autonomic system keeps us going, our emotions shut down so that we can survive. Often our emotional numbness may go on for years, and quite often people around us don't know what's happening. Then there's disorientation and yearning when reality begins to set in, and we truly notice that changes are taking place in our lives. And this is where the ancillary losses arise. Perhaps in the event of death, it's because we've lost our traveling companion or the one who handled the finances. Next, we move into the season of confrontation when anger sets in. And the first target of our anger tends to be God, and we question our religious, our spiritual, and our core beliefs. We don't understand why us. We next move on to a period of reorientation where we learn new skills. Cooking, sewing, banking, in order to re-enter the final season, which is the season of reorganization, where we re-enter the world with new skills, and quite often we find ourselves with a new social circle and new groups, and we are now ready to re-enter the world. These underlying root symptoms take place regardless of the type of loss incurred and regardless of our religious, philosophical, or moral beliefs. We can, everyone in this room, join together in a circle of support to help each other in times of loss, in times of need, in times of grief. We are all one. We are all the children of Adam and Eve, and we can repair the damage and divisiveness which we have caused. It's never too late, and I call on everyone here to stand together. We can form a grief support group so that any of us and any of our supporters have but one place to go where they will be welcomed, educated, loved, and healed. This is unity through diversity. There really is no diversity, but there can be tremendous unity, and we can bring it now. Each of us alone doing what we can do. Don't wait for someone else. Don't wait for directions or instructions. We are all the same. We are splintered pieces of the one God who created us all and gave us Adam as the father of humanity. Rise together now and join hands and welcome back your brother and sister to your soul. Rise now, join now, love now. Thank you very much.